right, looks like that's up. Let me just check. YouTube, it's showing. Right. Excuse me. How's our time? Hopefully I should be early. 2 minutes. Anyway. Bloody hell, got the hiccups and coughing. Must have been the lollies I just ate. All right. Let's see if there's... Oh, hey, Dan. Look, people are... Oh, you're here already. Sorry, got the hiccups. Hey, Joe, hi, guys. Evening, Vanilla Butcher. Hey, appreciate you stopping by, those that are here. I thought I'd just jump on a little bit earlier and try and get organised. Sorted. Man, there's been a whole bunch of just different topics come through. Some questions, some just stuff I think is probably a little bit random. Maybe a bit random. Oh, maybe not. At the end of the day, some people curious, I suppose, for my take on certain things, from the ICBM submarine launch that China's done, somewhere where they fired it off not long after Australia just signed a peace agreement with Fiji, to getting asked about Nations Championships, to being asked about some ex-Navy SEAL guy, Benjamin Sifrit, and his crazy AWS wife, it says here, who went on a murder spree. Holy heck, to stuff that I'm doing with Shubs, Radio Outdoor. So yeah, quite a bit of to selection stuff, and yeah, a whole bunch of other things. So interesting. How's that time? 1 minute. So yeah, I'll look to, I suppose, speak to or give my take on some of that stuff. Hey, Christian. Hey, brother. Dan Sweet Tooth, that will teach you. What's this? Where's your ice cream? Haven't got any, actually. Don't have any ice cream. It's probably, I actually feel like some now. 3 nuts. Yeah, we'll get to that. Maybe not tonight, though. All right, 7:30. Anyway, kia ora, g'day, welcome everybody. Thank you for those that are already here and stop by. I can't actually... Oh, yes, I can see. Oh, it looks like there's like 6 people. It shows anyway. 6 is the number that's showing, whether or not it is 6 people or not. But at least there's a handful of yous there. So yeah, appreciate you stopping by. Have you... I don't know if anybody had any questions right at the gate. Ice cream hard hat, Joe. Yeah. I remember. I don't feel good about China's moves. I know they have been trying to put moves on the Pacific for a long time. Yeah, 100%. I agree. I don't know what the alliance will really provide in terms of Australia and coverage and support coming to their aid. I think it is. They'll come to each other's aid in the event of attacks or whatever. And I mean, if China's getting involved and Australia's in the line of fire, like, yeah, if they're launching ICBMs from nuclear subs and all that sort of thing, it's going to be a crazy old time. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Let the games begin with that one. So that was the first one. China ICBM submarine weapons fire after the signed Ocean of Peace agreement with Fiji. What are your thoughts? Yeah, like I just said, let the games begin. We'll see how all of that plays out. Again, like I was just sort of touching on, I don't know what sort of what's the name? What Australia will do to combat that sort of capability. The intercontinental ballistic missiles, I think, is what it is, from China's side. There's a clip, actually. I got sent a clip by 3 Nuts as well on Instagram. A lady, what's her name? Apparently she's a very good singer. I'm just having a look now. I can't remember the name. There he is. Who has got a post on Facebook talking about the... what's her name here? reel by Lisa Perry. So Lisa Perry, have a listen to what she's got to say in terms of the cluster concern at Coburn, in terms of some of the naval capabilities for Australia and that sort of thing. Yeah, I don't know what's going on or who's part of the planning for that part of the Defence Force and what they were thinking, but it doesn't look or sound good. So, I'm pretty confident China's already aware of that, as are many other countries in terms of where that harbour is and its limited ability to, based on access in and out and all of that sort of stuff. So, yeah, let the games begin. We'll see what happens. Hopefully nothing bad happens. I mean, there's already enough rubbish happening around the world at the moment. So, anyway, that's my take on that. What do we got here? Did you watch the rugby on that? That's actually one of the things that come through. Now, for that, I didn't watch it because I don't have Sky. But where is it? Scott here, your thoughts on the ABs in their first game against France and your thoughts on the Nations Championship comp in general. Pretty cool. Well, it seems pretty cool. Like, I think it's only been run every 2 years, this Nations Championship competition. And I think it's Northern Hemisphere versus Southern Hemisphere. And so I don't think, I think that the final ends up being between a Northern Hemisphere team and a Southern Hemisphere team. And the sad thing about that is that, you got New Zealand and South Africa and Australia too, although unfortunately Australia lost on the weekend to Ireland. But All Blacks, South Africa, and who was the other? There was a third, whoever the other team was uh, for the what's her name? Southern Hemisphere. That one, I can't remember who it was. That one. Anyway, somebody will probably tell me. But I think Northern Hemisphere had 3 wins as well. But I thought the game was awesome. To your question, bro. Sorry, where are you? My Soap 23. I didn't get to watch it. I just saw the highlights. I wouldn't have watched the highlights if I didn't know that we won. I would have watched the other highlights still, but I wouldn't have watched the All Black highlights if we had lost. It's not a highlight to me when the All Blacks lose. So why would I waste my time watching it? But I did watch the highlights because I saw that we won. Saw the score going into get the live updates and then just hitting the refresh and then seeing the number change. But man, it was tight. Good game. Was it 2-point win, 34-32 in the end? Good blowout for the players, I think, or for the All Blacks team. I don't know how much time the French team has had together. I assume they've had limited amount of time together like the All Blacks, to be fair. So, yeah, I enjoyed the highlights anyway. Disappointed Australia lost the close one. The dude that went for the penalty kick at the end, yeah, he's usually seems like a pretty reliable kicker. Western Force player, I forget his name, but he'll be disappointed. Would have had the chance. I think they would have won by 1 if he had got it. And South Africa, man, they just blanking hammered England. England put up a good fight, in different parts, but South Africa is just too good. On the back end of interesting comments I received that, hey, Joe, what's your favorite national anthem? Favorite national anthem. Man, you know what? That's obviously I have a place in my heart for the New Zealand and Australian national anthem, but they are not my favorite national anthems. Like in terms of listening to them wise, um, I've actually got two national anthems that I really like. Is like the Star Spangled Banner. I like the American. I was going to say Star Spangled Banger, the American national anthem. Like when that's sung well, man, it sounds awesome. Like so I like that one, and I actually like the South African national anthem. There's and I think one of the ones, oh man, it's probably on YouTube somewhere. When the whole stadium in one of their stadiums in Johannesburg or wherever it was, everybody was singing it. But it it still sounded awesome. It sounded beautiful. It didn't just sound like a loud noise sort of thing. But anyway, those two, I said it. I like the way the American and the South African national anthems sound. Yes, I like the obviously New Zealand and Australian ones, but yeah, in terms of like listening to them, Yeah, like the American one and the South African. Like to me, they sound cool. Maybe I might get blanking slated for that by Kiwis and Aussies in the chat or in the comments or in other messages. But yeah, anyway, what's this one? Good improvement over last year. Uh, hey, DMC, good improvement over last year. Looks like we are going back to running rugby. It does look like that, eh? Like even, and maybe it's the way they were saying. I didn't realize. I think there's some changes to the bonus points and all that sort of stuff. I think you get extra for more tries or whatever it is. So seems like the incentive for more try scoring is it may be a part of it as well. I don't know. I think I was just watching. I was listening to part of the breakdown, and I think it might have been Jeff Wilson talking about some of the change and which seems to be encouraging running rugby, which is awesome. So hopefully, there's definitely a heck of a lot of tries. South Africa are running everywhere and running rampant, and Australia was playing well as well. They're unlucky to get over in the end, though. South African national anthem is amazing to listen to. The Russian one is very lively as well. Oh, wow, okay. I'd have to go and have a look for the Russian one. But yeah, South African one, I really like that. German national anthem is a very historical tune. Okay. Hey, Dave, tēnā koe, brother. Still looking forward to us doing a walk and talk with you too, bro. Bro, like on that, maybe not a narrow hunting trail bush like what Blake and Cameron took me on. No, it wasn't a hunting trail bush, but there was a part of it there, bro. It was Blake and it was that the trail was that growing over, like we were walking on a main path. Then he looked at his Garmin and he goes, "Oh, I got an alarm. Says we're not on the right track, so we've got to go back up." He goes, "There's a main fork or something." I was like, "I didn't see no main fork, main junction. Neither of us did anyway." We went up. His thing alarmed to where we were supposed to turn off, and it was like trees on the side and these like real faint little tracks that sort of went in off to the side and out to the left. If you had a good look at it, yeah, it looks like a trail, but very not very well used. So anyway, we went on it, and blink and heck, like it was think definitely single file for that portion of the trail. So the editing is taking me a heck of a lot longer with that Insta 360. As great as it is, I mean, I probably could just leave it, and I think if I do that, people can just touch their screen and just move the camera around wherever you want to look at instead of looking at us. But it takes a while, so I'm gonna keyframe it so that it's got whatever it is I choose to put the camera on. But yeah, that was when we get together, Dave. Like, hopefully, it's a decent track. I was thinking after that, I better put a disclaimer when I'm reaching out to people to do these interviews. Like, it doesn't have to be some sort of hearty Lincoln mountain goat trail. Like, it can just be a nice, a nice, easy walk. But yeah, we'll see how we go. I says, yeah, brother, be good. Okay, maybe not deep bush. Sounds like me on the weekend. Take the wrong turn in next minute. Yeah, I mean, if that's going to be the case, just let me know. I'll bring my pack and I'll pack some rations and I'll have a sleeping bag and a hoochie and that sort of stuff. But I'm sure I trust that you know the areas where we'll be going anyway. Crack up. Where are we? But yeah, there's the national anthem one, which is and on the back of the rugby. So exciting, man! Like it's, it's awesome. Like seeing the this time of year in the rugby. If I had if I had Sky, I would have watched the game live, so then I wouldn't have had to watch the highlights. But yeah, I haven't got Sky. Where are we? Yeah, so this Navy SEAL one. It's like, hey Joe, you have to do a reaction. Have to do a reaction to that ex Navy SEAL guy, Benjamin Sifrit, Sifrit. Sifrit and his crazy AWS wife, who went on a murder spree. I believe he was the honor student for Andy Stump's, well, Bud's class. Actually, I think I've heard Andy mention something like that ages ago. Uh, was he being interviewed at that time? I want to say it's while he was not while he was on his show anyway. I think I recall him saying something like, "The honor student of my class is currently in prison for murder or something, or for being a serial killer or something like that." Pretty crazy, but yeah, okay. Thanks for sending through the name. I'll um, I'll have a look at some point, unless I get sent unless I get sent a link beforehand. But interesting. This one, are you doing regular episodes with Shubs on Radio Aotearoa? What's that all about? I mean, what other topics of discussion does he give them to you, or does Radio Aotearoa give them to you guys and let you know what you're going to talk about in advance, or is it just whatever is trending? Oh, interesting. Okay, so on that, the stuff that like Shubs invited me and asked me, "Bro, you want to do something regular, maybe once a week or fortnight or month or whatever?" I initially thought, oh yeah, maybe something monthly or whatever. It's his show, right? Like he's working for Radio Aotearoa. He's got his own uh, Shubs Say So and Shubs Live stuff that he's got. So I was like, oh, bro, if you think it will add any sort of value to your radio station, then yeah, I'm keen. Like more practice for me as well, in terms of communication and all that sort of stuff. And he goes, no, yeah, it's no, yeah, we'll do it. Sounds good. I was like, okay. And then I said, I sent him through some info in an email. And then basically he just gave me a call back and said, yeah, bro, let's run it. He goes, basically, you just come up with the topic. So me, I just come up with the topic and then give him a little bit of notice, even if it's just before, but I try to send it to him, a few days before. And he's locked in Wednesdays. So Wednesdays at 11:30. I've only done one so far, which was last Wednesday with him. And then this Wednesday will be the second, 11:30 till 11:50, I think it is. It's only like a 20-minute piece, which is cool, suits me. And sorry, just nearly kicked my water bottle out over. And yeah, and it's just like whatever topic I send through to him, he's happy to roll with. So yeah, really interesting. I feel fortunate to have an opportunity to do something like that, or that Shubs even offered that. So Shubs is probably up there with one of those guys. You either love him or you hate him, or you're like me. I actually quite like what it is that he does for the most part. I haven't seen all of his content. Some of his stuff, like how he communicates and his style and his some people might say abrasiveness or whatever. Some people just say authentic and honest and raw. And I think that's an accurate description as well. Yeah, it's not for everybody, but I like he's at least from what I've seen and what I've heard and what I've experienced, he's open to anybody coming on his show and having a conversation with him about some hard pressing topics. And then there's also some people, including those people that he's called out, and people saying that he's against Maori people, which he isn't. And yeah, he's extended the invitations, as far as I'm aware, to those people that are quite anti him and his opinions and views. But anyway, each to their own. So I have a little bit of freedom there to, like, I just send them through what we're going to be speaking about or what I want to speak about. Give them a little bit of an idea of what my perspective is on it, and then go from there. So yeah, hopefully did that answer that one. What did he say? Sorry, I'm just bouncing in between, so I've got to come read the chat soon. I just seen some other numbers pop up, I think 2 or 3 comments or something. Are you doing regular episodes of Shubs and Radio Aotearoa? So yes, at this stage. Well, I've done one, and so this week will be the second one. What's it all about? I mean, topics discussion. Does him or Radio Aotearoa get into you? No, so I get to choose them. In terms of what you're going to talk about, is it just whatever's trending? Not necessarily. There might be some stuff from time to time that might catch my eye, and I might think, oh, let's talk about that. Like, for example, what happened with Brian Tamaki and his weapons being taken and his license being revoked, from what I understand, or cancelled 2 days before the police went around and took his weapons. Again, not that I'm religious or think anything of Brian Tamaki, either positive or negative. I don't know the guy. But that was interesting and seemed strange. But anyway, this week, what did I send him this week? This week, plan on Shubs has replied, do it. See you Wednesday. Yeah, the topic that's come front of mind, and based on some discussions which I've had with some people recently, in terms of some of their prep is, and the heading is just stop looking for reasons to not do the thing, is what I've labeled it as. Um, I'm coming at it from a positive perspective. So looking to hopefully speak on that in a way that it encourages or reminds us to look for those solutions rather than focusing on the perceived problems. And utilizing what's the names, not what's the names, that's rude. Cameron Holmes's quote of iterative progression is better than delayed perfection. So I really like that quote that I think he said it was from Mark Twain, but it's a quote that's always stuck out with him. And I like that. Like you can apply that to pretty much anything. So that's the topic coming up for this Wednesday, 20-minute segment, and get Shubs's thoughts. You'll hear my thoughts, and hopefully, yeah, hopefully whatever happens, happens. Hopefully it goes well and it lands on the ears of people that might get something from it. Last week was around mindset and accountability stuff, and yeah, got some nice comments and messages back from those people. So thank you to those that might have heard it. I think they heard it on the radio. I haven't heard it on the radio, but yeah, they said that they heard it and yeah, whatever, took something from it, which is cool. Where are we? Sorry, just scrolling back up. Okay, could be the beach, bro. What are your thoughts on people going to fight in Ukraine? Great question. The New Zealand Herald just did a piece on a young man from the North Shore up in Auckland. He passed away in December at 22 years of age. I think I've seen part of that one, bro. Is that the young? Oh yeah, you've got it here. Had no military/combat experience prior. I think he didn't tell his parents that that's where he was going. I think he said he had. If it's what I'm thinking of, I think I read part of an article. I haven't heard the parents speak, but I think I read part of an article. He might have told his parents or something that he got some sort of job. I think he did some studies. What I read, Massey University, and some, I think, defense type studies or whatever. But anyway, coming to your question, my SIP 23. Yeah, we've already lost. I don't know how many Kiwis we've lost over there, but I know there's been at least one, probably 2 or 3 Kiwis. One of them was definitely ex-battalion here. I don't know if it's 1st Battalion or 2nd 1st Battalion. Yep, that's the one. Oh, yeah, cool. He was airsoft guy from what I read as well. So this young fella, airsoft, did some military studies and stuff at Massey. I think he didn't didn't want to tell his parents, probably because he didn't want to worry them. Yeah, I think it's very much like my personal take is massive respect for anybody that wants to go over there and fight and support Ukraine. Like I've, I have thought about it. I had discussed it with my wife while we were still while we're still up in Auckland. But yeah, like things are just different in terms of the family situation and kids and that sort of thing. I mean, if I was single, yeah, I probably would be over there and wouldn't be on YouTube doing anything like this, to be honest. Um, but yeah, in terms of Kiwis going over, my thoughts on it. I mean, man, like I have respect for those guys that want to go over. Uh, would I want any of my children going over? I don't see it any different to 2 of our children, soon to be 3, that are already in the army, that have already chosen to join the army. Like, my wife and I never encouraged them, and we never discouraged them from joining. Glad that they told us that that's where they're going to go, and that's where 2 of them are now. Our daughter wanted to, but she failed her eyesight. Our oldest daughter, but her eyesight didn't pass the test. So, but she's doing good now. And then soon to be the 3rd son will go into the army, and we're aware of it. For me personally, if it was one of my own children going over, if that's what they want to do, like I'd be worried for them. I'd think about them, like anybody would with people that they know, or especially if it's their own flesh and blood. But in terms of your question, what are my thoughts on Kiwis going over? Thoughts on people? Oh, sorry, just on people going over to fight in the Ukraine. Yeah, people have got lots of different drivers, for different things, and some people just feel super compelled. So nothing but from me, nothing but respect for those people that take action on the things that they're feeling, particularly when they're feeling super passionate about it and they just, they go and get after it. So hopefully they, come back. But sadly, this young fella recently anyway, um, yeah, won't be, well, at least won't be coming back alive. So I don't know if they've been able to recover the body or anything like that. Hopefully they have, so that at least they can repatriate the body back, you know, to his home. I'm sure that's going to be expensive, but I'm pretty sure the parents would not care. Um, they just want to have their son home. So no military or combat experience prior. I think military experience is definitely helpful. I think it doesn't guarantee anything though. No military or combat experience. Yeah, I think as I sit here pondering that and thinking about the private security space when I um, got out of the regiment and then started doing that for a few years, the amount of stories, and I never, didn't specifically meet these people that some people were telling me about, was pretty scary actually. It was some of the guys talking about they were on jobs and working for companies with people that had, again, no military or combat experience, no soldiering experience. Some of them had no other experience other than being a bouncer at a nightclub. Um, yeah, like for me personally, I'm glad I didn't work with anybody like with that sort of background. I worked with guys from UKSF, NZSF, and Oz SF. So I was, very fortunate and glad to be working in a space like that. Where am I going with it? I think a lot is made of military and combat experience, but I mean, if I think of myself, like I had no combat experience when I went to Iraq, and you just, you hope that and lean on the training. But I did have, that's where I spoke about military experience. I think is very important. So that's where that played a significant part for me. Like there was a lot of reps and a lot of training and a lot of exposure whilst under pressure to different things, albeit live rounds aren't kicking around or whizzing past my head or smacking into the vehicle or kicking up the dirt and stuff in front of us. So, and not in those scenarios anyway, in the training and prep leading up to. There's other stuff that was there where you're still having rounds whiz past your head, like especially in the CQB setting and that sort of stuff. But anybody that's been in a contact will know what I mean. Like it's different. So you don't necessarily have to have, in my opinion, combat experience to, you know, give hopefully what will be a good account of yourself, but it definitely helps. So the young fellow was doing airsoft. I know that there's lots of footage and stuff on YouTube and things around airsoft sniping and all this sort of stuff. Yeah, so that stuff can have a actual practical application to real world stuff when you're doing it. And the the what's the name? If it's not conducted properly, though, the potential risk with it, in my opinion, is that you potentially forget when it comes time to being real that this isn't airsoft anymore. This is actual real lead that is flying towards you and that will rip you up you know if you don't find proper cover, if you're not concealed well. Like the difference in understanding the difference between cam concealment, cover and concealment. So camouflage and concealing yourself, great, but making sure that you can get in behind proper hard cover when actual rounds are coming and not little Lincoln plastic caps or whatever they're using in the airsoft stuff. Um, yeah, so maybe there's some benefit from a crossover perspective and tactics and training and fire movement and stuff like that, which could cross over. But yeah, there's a reason why, in my opinion, I'm pretty sure it hasn't changed. I don't think it's happening now, but I'm, pretty sure there's a reason why there isn't airsoft being used in in the military as part of the training for certain operations. Yeah, don't get me wrong, we did use paint rounds at times, especially for a lot of CQB stuff. Um, but yeah, not we weren't running SRO urban operations using airsoft and that sort of stuff. Maybe they do now. I don't know, but yeah, like that's a tough one, eh? people's own drivers will cause them to go and do whatever it is that they feel that they need to do, or whatever it is that they feel compelled to do. And maybe this young lad, that's what clearly he felt strongly enough to go over and do that. Sad for his parents and that, and those that know him well, or knew him well. Vanilla Butcher, did you used to be a loggy at some stage? I can see that. No, that's my wife's. That's my in the middle there. Yeah, that's my wife's beret. So she was in the army too. She was with 10 Transport originally, and then like just doing the admin stuff. And then they merged all the clerks together at what was called then the LAC, or the Linton Admin Centre. And so they spent time and rotated around different positions and parts in there, in her corps. Yeah. Yep, that's the one. From the video I saw of his teammate, and him and another guy were going into an underground cellar where, unknowing to them, 3 Russians were hiding. The 2 guys took full bursts as they walked in. Yeah, no doubt. That's what his teammate described talking to the Herald. He's already back. Okay, well, that's great that he's back. Yeah, seeing that stuff, like I've seen some of the footage in the Ukraine stuff. People have that has been a common request, and I'll get to some of that. Some people have said, "Oh, would you mind reacting to some of the Ukraine stuff?" Yeah, I don't mind reacting to it. It's a bit like the footage. I don't know. I haven't gone properly looking for like Ukrainian Russia war footage, but I see that there's other channels that have got stuff on there, and I guess they're speaking in Ukrainian and or Russian language in there. So yeah, I probably, well, not probably, I won't know what they're saying apart from good morning, dobro utro, and как дела, and хорошо, like good morning, how are you? And I'm good. that's about the extent of my Russian. um, maybe is it das vidanya as well? Spasiba, thank you. Yeah, like not much, few handful of blinking little words. So I don't know what I'd be reacting to other than just probably visually what I'm seeing, and then without context or without being able to understand what is being said, if there is any narration specific to the footage, and if it's in Russian or Ukrainian, I'm guessing those languages are pretty similar. Yeah, but we'll see how we go. It is something that has come up a bit. People asking me to react to that. Oh, turn that off. Wow, that came around quick. I think it's 8 o'clock already. I didn't even get through. Oh, that's right. Well, I got Wednesday. What's this? That's what is here. A lot of people use airsoft for dry fire, etc., to build repetition and muscle memory. Some of the gas blowback rifles are very realistic, and a lot of the real steel parts and gear crossover. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm sure there's probably a whole bunch of quite relevant and, I guess, technical and like physical advancements on that type of gear and stuff, I would imagine. Where are we? Yeah, it's 8 o'clock. Who's on here? Well, there's still. I'm seeing a little number 9 next to there, so there's still some people on here. Sorry, let me get back to these questions. Where was I? Yep, the serial killer guy, or ex-Navy SEAL guy, and his crazy wife. Shubs. Yeah, I don't know. Well, not I don't know. There's heaps of stuff on here, like comments and questions and stuff that have come through. I'm not sure if people online have got. You're the ones that have taken time to stop by. I don't know if you've got any questions. If not, I'll just carry on with a few more of these. And if I see the chat little thing pop up, I'll look to try to come to that. Let's do this. If I can do it that way. That work? Oh, look at me. What a smart guy. There's a fluke, actually. I've just managed to put it into the same screen. So cool. All right. Shubs. Oh, yeah, this was a question that came through. Actually, I think I just did a video. Oh, maybe I'll leave those ones till later on if I need to, just because I did a video response to these, and have scheduled that, so that will come up. Oh, thank you to those that commented already on the public speaking. So a young fella, young Kiwi lad over in Australia, sent through a question, really nice, um, yeah, really polite, respectful email asking for my thoughts in and around public speaking and his lack of confidence. Man, when I read that, my mind was just cast back to younger me and uh, fearful me in terms of public speaking. But there's been a number of comments as where I was going um, with that on there already. Dave, I think you chucked in a comment there already. Actually, I know you did, and a few other people. Some really good points, and I forgot all about the Toastmasters as well. Like there's people out there that run those sort of courses. I've never done one of those, but I've heard of them, and apparently they can be quite good as well. So, hopefully the young fellow, I'm sure he'll see some of those comments and may be able to take um, further guidance, excuse me, from people that have stopped by and taken the time to put some comments and stuff in there, which is cool. Like, probably help that young 17-year-old. Here we go. So I'll jump in on these two. It's got Joe. Seriously, would you reconsider doing interviews with people remotely instead of just in person? Question mark. I've got some people with incredible stories who I've spoken to about you, and they would be happy to jump on an interview with you. um, would you seriously reconsider doing interviews with people remotely instead of just in person? At this stage, I'm going to say no. I still want to, I want to, I've done two so far in person, and I'd really love to just stay that course. Like, if it's going to take longer before those, hopefully before a bit more momentum and things can happen a bit more fluidly and or a bit more, dare I say, a bit more regularly, then so be it. For me, anyway, that's where I'm at. Yes, there are some people, particularly just over the ditch in Australia as well, through some kind supporters and some of the connections that they have. One of them may still be on here watching this live. That I, just definitely want to get over and obviously meet the person in the first place, and then meet their contacts. And they've got some pretty incredible stories from a variety of areas. It sounds like from one from Vietnam, one from federal police and detective work, and other spaces similar to that. Geez, I'm trying to remember now, but there's a few anyway. And so, yeah, like I'd rather at this stage, I haven't changed my mind on reconsidering. Also, at this, like it's uncanny, the funny that the timing of this stuff when it comes through, because I just got a message I haven't replied to him yet from Jamie Pinnell. Those that may or may not know who Jamie is, former NZSA's commander, author of the book Soldier J, and he agreed to, for me to interview him, do a walk and talk interview with him. I don't want to share what he said. He said to me, he said that he obviously is interested. He said, yes, bro. And then he said, your timing is impeccable because he's just about to, and I won't finish the sentence because I don't know if he's announced it yet or if anything's come out. So, yeah, but I heard back from him today is where I was going with that. And he's just apologized, saying that these school holidays, like it's just a bit too hectic. So he can't actually do it these holidays, which was the plan. So he goes, do you want to do it? I think basically the old fashioned way or the traditional way or whatever. Oh, what did he say actually? Let's just, I'll get that so I can make sure I'm saying the right words. Where is he, Jamie? Apologies for the late reply. Hey, brother, apologies for the late reply. Unfortunately, I'll not be able to do your podcast over the break. Too much going on at the moment. Would you rather we do it traditionally, Jamie? Yeah, so, and then I get that message, that comment saying, and this is from another kind supporter saying, hey, would you, seriously, would you reconsider doing these interviews? Bloody hell, now I'm having dramas trying to pull that back up remotely rather than just in person. So yeah, at this stage, no, I'm sticking to my guns. I want to do them in person, and I'll stay that course for the meantime. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll just go back to doing them remotely. But I'd like to think that hopefully I could just keep doing them in person. Like once I get enough runs on the board and get a few things sorted out and I'm able to travel more freely, that sort of thing, not so restricted um, from a financial perspective. That then I can do more of these types of interviews. So anyway, that's that one. Apologies to the bro who sent through that question, and I doubt Jamie will be watching this, but I will be getting back to Jamie probably later on this evening. Yeah, so from a kind supporter over in the UK, got this one article around SAS troops accused of war crimes, UKSF. This one, not referred to police due to morale fears. So I'll have a look at that. I have seen and clicked on the link. UKSF soldiers being PNG'd, persona non grata. My thoughts and stuff on that. Some UKSF soldiers or former UKSF soldiers being PNG'd. Some of them for simply saying that they were ex UKSF. I have been asked by the same person if I'm aware if I've been PNG'd, and I shared in there, not that I know of, not that I particularly care. Like these days, like, if if they want to PNG me, um, so be it. Nothing I can do about it. I mean, what what purpose that serves them or the units if they're if they're worried that I'm going to be, I don't know what, I'm going to stroll into camp one day and mince around in camp. Like it's all, the security is probably all very different. It was swipe card access back then as well before you can get in and out. And there's guards and stuff there, like private. Uh, oh, I don't know what the car. I think it was Group 4 when I last time I remember security being on the gates there over in Perth. Like it's not like it's just down the road for me to just go strolling on into camp, even if I wanted to. Like yeah. So anyway, as far as I know, I'm not persona non grata, or haven't been. But if it happens, it happens. I couldn't see why it would. I mean, if it hasn't happened now, I'm not sure why, unless I just go completely off the rails, and then they go, "Yep, bloody, who the truck is that guy?" Uh, anyway, oh yeah, maybe I'll just run through these ones because there might be somebody else. These are some of the selection questions. And some of the other ones that I did a video on were on selection as well. So maybe I'll go through these. Um, yeah, so this person just said, thanks for sending through the phases. That was the follow-up email or part of, this is the part of the first one. So this person asked me, have you heard of any Navy or Air Force PERS going for selection in NZ and got in? My answer to that is yes, at least from a Navy perspective. Air Force, I don't know. I didn't know. I know of Air Force people that have passed selection, but I don't know of any Air Force people that have gone on to serve in the unit. I would assume there probably is. But yeah, Navy, there definitely has been that have passed selection and gone on and been badged and served in the unit. Is it possible I could get a copy of the say yes? Oh yes, that's probably worth mentioning here. That's why I dragged it over to here. So this person asked for a copy of the training program. Uh, if there is anybody on the in the background who likes to stay quiet, that is preparing for selection, that wanted a copy of the training program, that like the generic one that I did. I've done a video of it on YouTube and whatever. Just send me an email. I'll send it through to you. Like I put it up on the internet or on YouTube and stuff for free anyway. So, but if somebody wants it, just email me and I'll send it through to you. Um, yeah, like there's no, there's no, I haven't put any copyright or anything on it it's a generic training plan, or the phase 1 build up phase 2 the meat and the work, and phase 3 the taper, to and then up to the individual to use it and tweak it as they see fit, so to fit in with their life and work and um, aspirations for selection. Like it's geared towards prep for selection, so it's dominant on all the core parts of what you'll be expected to do for selection and as a soldier. So don't expect your strength numbers and 1 rep maxes to go through the roof and all that sort of stuff. Don't expect to become a super great CrossFit athlete or high rocks athlete or anything like that. That's not what it is. It's a generic program specific to military type and selection prep, but it's got enough flexibility in it for individuals to tweak it as they see fit. So, yeah, where are we? Oh, sorry, this one isn't so much a selection one, but excuse me, the other ones are. Du- du- du. Would you consider running one-to-one or group training sessions focused on developing not only the physical ability but the mental aspects slash mindset for people in your area or willing to travel to your area a couple of times a week? I noticed you ran a session at the Aotea Lagoon and you had a couple of people show up. You could charge a fee, potential income stream for you slash your family. I'd attend if I was in the area. Hell, I still might. LOL, this person has got. Oh man. Why am I pausing? Because I've just got lots of images in my head of people that have said one thing over the years. I've taken time out to train them, spend time with them. A lot of them uh, trained them, for nothing, didn't charge them anything, only to, only for them to just drop the ball, um, be useless, is what I'll say. Just being honest, uh, and not carrying on, like going good for a few weeks, a few months. Some of them, uh, one fella lost 30 kilos, um, just was doing awesome. Like, and as I think of them, not all of them, like there's a number that were happy to pay, so they paid, and they came, they trained consistently for a while, and then stopped for whatever the other reasons were. I'm thinking more of the ones that I didn't charge, and there's a lot who, like, again, I've said it before, started with a hiss and a roar and faded to a fizzle and a fart, like a pff, um, and that uh, is the part that was the, like, real, for me, the real demoralizing part. Like, I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I've just spent this time, because it's not just the time when they come to train for an hour or a little bit over an hour. Sometimes I would push the boundaries a little bit more, but it's the time and the prep and the planning and reviewing what they've done, where they're at, um, the progression for them from where they're at to where they're wanting to get to. Yeah, just all the background stuff that the clients don't see, um, and maybe that's part of it. Maybe they just, is taken for granted or whatever. But anyway, coming back to, you just stirred up a whole bunch of thoughts then. Memories, so some of them not very good, and so I'm leaning more towards the side of, yeah, I don't know if I want to do that. Said, would you consider running one-to-one or group training sessions focused on developing not only physical but mental aspects? So yeah, I get the physical ability, mental aspects, mindset, etc. For people people in the area, a couple of times a week. Yeah, that's maybe not too hard for people. Depends on what those couple of times a week are, because you're never going to please anybody, even if I did do something like that. You could charge a fee, potential income stream for you, yep, for your family. So like I said, I have done one-to-ones and small group sessions and stuff, not since I've been back here in NZ. And that session, like you said, in here that I ran down at Aotea Lagoon, that was a members only one, where I didn't, it wasn't charging. It was like, well, I'm going to be down there and I'm going to train anyway. If you want to come, and you can join in, or you can do your own thing, whatever. And there were a couple of guys that came. One of them travelled from Waiouru. Shout out, he knows who he is. He often supports the channel and that sort of thing. So he may be on this live or he may be not, but wasn't wasted on me. The other guy came from in towards Wellington City. Yeah, you could charge a fee, potential income, blah, blah, blah. I'd attend if I was in the area. Hell, I still might. That's probably, like, thank you. It's a kind thought, suggestion, um, in terms of what you've shared. Uh, yeah, we'll see. Maybe the thought that comes to mind is maybe I put out a poll and then see what the response is like. But the thing with that, which I've discovered because I don't really trust the polls anymore after the reckoning and all that sort of stuff and the durations and all that sort of thing. And there's a whole bunch of, I think, just bots probably just clicking on different things, and then and then people not showing up. So who knows? Maybe I'll just put out a poll to see, but yeah, I won't be traveling too far from where I am. Like probably down to Altair Lagoon. They've got a nice outdoor gym stuff set up there. Depending on the numbers, could just be at one of the fields or parks if I was to do something like that. But it hasn't. It's definitely not something that I have even thought about or been considering. Thank you for sending through the message though. So we'll see. Who knows if actually, the same time, I was just going to say, maybe if my inbox got spammed with people saying, "Oh, they want to do that, they'd want to do that." My inbox has been spammed before with like 40 something odd people saying that they wanted to do the reckoning for 30 hours, and and that didn't. They quickly disappeared. Put it that way. So even to the point, the one and only reckoning that's been run, it was seven people, and only two showed up. So yeah, I don't know. I think there's just probably a lot of bots and stuff out there, fake clicking on the those polling numbers or whatever. Did that one? So this is a follow up to the actual selection questions. If a Navy or Air Force per did get through selection, would they then need to do core training in the Army? So would that more than likely, I'd probably almost guarantee it that they would need to do. You can turn that off, some. That they would need to do go and do an infantry core training, and then once they finish that, probably end up doing at least 12 months or so, thereabouts, about a year in the battalion or whichever battalion that they're going to be at. Again, just to hone those skills. Why is that? Eh, because because the unit would be wanting to set those people up for success. Like coming from the Navy and the Air Force, excuse me, they will. What's the right word? Like to put it respectfully, like you've done Navy and Air Force basic training, and I presume core training specific to their roles, whatever that involves. But it's different, right? So you're going into a completely different type of work and soldiering. And I would assume if somebody from the Army wanted to go to somewhere in the Navy or the Air Force and they pass a particular course, that they would probably have to go and get, indoctrinated in whether that's Navy or Air Force doctrine for, to become familiar with how things roll in that particular area or in that corps. So that I would imagine would be the same. Uh, I may be wrong, like that. Maybe they'll take Navy and Air Force who pass selection and put them straight onto cycle. Um, I I don't think they would personally. I do think as a minimum they would be sent to an infantry corps training, and then from there be sent to an infantry battalion. So in New Zealand, either first or first battalion, and embed themselves, become part of become familiar with the routine and stuff of infantry and soldiering in these days and how it applies. So that they've got the best chance of going onto cycle and being able to give it a good nudge once they get onto cycle. Because there's no guarantee you can get through selection, get on cycle. It doesn't mean you're in the unit. Like they make that very clear. And so like it's nice to know that they do look to try to set people up as much as they can to succeed. Like there were two guys on my Dale Fry was one of the guys, and then there was another TF guy. So we were on the same selection. Those two, Dale and the other guy, I won't mention his name. I'm not sure where he is now. I'm not sure if he's still in. But they both we passed selection together. I ended up on cycle the following year. Those two guys went on to infantry corps training, and then they spent time. I think they stayed down in First Battalion for a period of time. I don't know whether it was 12 months, may have been 6 months, may have been 12 months, and then they started their cycle in 2000. They would have started their cycle in 2000. Selection 98. I was on cycle and yeah, so 2000 they would have done cycle and then passed, from what I understand. Well, Dale passed, and I'm pretty sure the other fellow did too, and then went on. So maybe they might not have if they didn't get that exposure to infantry corps training and then going to battalion. Dun, dun, dun. When you when you run in your pre-selection camps, uh, same thing again. Hiss and a roar, fizzle and a fart from people. Yeah, so I've been happy to just leave that. Like if an inquiry comes through, I'll get back to the person or persons, and then just go from there. When doing the navigation phase, how are questions or bearings given out for you to figure out, or do they just give you some grid bearings? Well, a couple of things. Selection these days, um, obviously, if you're depending on where you're coming from, right? Like, so if you're coming from straight from Civvy Street, if you get to the stage whereby you're allowed on selection and you're allowed to start, there will probably be some sort of study or aptitude testing or that sort of thing from a navigation perspective, especially if you're coming in cold off Civvy Street without having done any type of land navigation. So I don't know how that would go. I think I've said before, like, don't ask me for the process for civvies wanting to go and contact the Defence Force recruitment in Australia or New Zealand, and then get the good oil from them, so to speak. But if you're already in the military, taking that time and learning the basics of land navigation will will help set you up. But in terms of when you're asking here, when doing the navigation phase, how the questions or bearings given out for you to figure out, or do they just, or what'd you say? How are questions or bearings given out for you to figure out? Question mark, or do they just give you some grid bearings? So basically, so let's put it this way: I'm on selection. Uh, I'm at the very first checkpoint, and I am given a few minutes, potentially, maybe. So one of two options: maybe I'm given a few minutes to do a resection to work out where I am on the map, on the ground, and then I take that grid reference that I've got and I go and share that with the directing staff, and then they'll either potentially confirm or say no, go away and blink and sort that out again, or double check it and then come back. Or you may be taken to a start point and given the grid reference for where you are. So then you grab your map out and then you mark where you are on the map. And then you're given another grid reference for where you need to be or where you need to get to. So how they do that may be done collectively. I'm not sure. It may be done individually. However that rolls, it's just, you just adapt and go with however it works. Whatever grid reference you're given, because you're not all going to leave at the same time. So more than likely you may end up receiving it one-on-one. Then you go away and you work out from where you are to where you need to get to, work out your bearing, work out your distance, have an estimated time of how long you think it should take you, and be able to plot on the map like a rough route of where you think you'll be going. Once you reckon you've got all of that and you're sorted and you're good to go, then you go back and you would report to the directing staff, if that's what they're after for you to do. And then you basically just regurgitate what I just shared and say, heels together, call them staff. Staff, this is where I am now. This is the grid reference that you've given. That's where I plan on going. The distance is roughly blah, blah, blah. It should take me roughly however long you think it'll take you. And I'm planning on going this route in order to get there. Staff will either say, all right, bugger off then, or uh, he may not be quite convinced that you're quite in the right spot or that you've marked on the map correctly where you're supposed to be going. And he may challenge you or ask you without giving you the answer. So if that happens, then you'll either have to go away and check it out again, or stand your ground and go, no, this is where I'm going. So all those sort of mind game things may come into play. And so being confident with your navigation, having the basics and stuff down pat, like just a good basic knowledge of navigation and the ability to apply it, my opinion and in my experience, is all you need. A little bit of luck doesn't hurt too, but yeah, that's pretty much, hopefully that answers that question. That's There's probably they probably do it very different. There's probably some, from what I understand, there's probably some resources and materials that you get to do some navigation theory beforehand. There's a pre-selection as well. So if you're doing New Zealand one, there's a pre-selection. So there's definitely some navigation stuff, at least that we did back in my time, and I'm pretty sure they still do that today. In Australia, I'm not sure how they're running the Special Forces assessment program, or how whatever it's called these days, but their joint selection process. I would assume they've got some prerequisites before even getting onto the course. So you know, whatever that process is for the group, um, or for the unit that you're looking to join, just get that information. More so, probably from the horse's mouth these days, rather than second, third hand, or guesstimation from me. But I'll always try and give as much information as I think may be helpful. But always the default would be to, if you're in the military, go through those army recruiters or careers coaches, whatever the title is that they may have these days, and ask them, like, what do I need to do? What's the process? If you're coming from Civvy Street and I want to do selection, what do I need to do? They should be able to give you the answers, and or at least point you in the right direction. Similarly, if you're in the Defence Force, like, go through your chain of command and your process, get all the relevant things, cross the T's, dot the I's, get all of that submitted within whatever timeframes are there, because there'd probably be cut-off times before or by when you have to have things submitted before you can even get on the selection start line. So yeah, so hopefully that helps answer that question. Man, there's a bunch of other stuff there. I'll probably leave that stuff for maybe Wednesday. It's nearly, oh, holy heck, it's nearly 8:30 now. What's that? Did that. Where are we? That's what his teammate described. Repetition was a lot of people use. Oh, yeah, sorry, I did that one. Christian Maver. Timothy Robertson was a fighter pilot, or in the RAAF, who then served in the SAS, ending up a troop commander. Okay, Tim Robertson. I don't know him. He must have got there after I'd already gone. Timothy Robertson. That's cool. We had a Black Hawk pilot in my squadron at the time. So over in Australia. Yeah, so there's definitely a Black Hawk pilot. And I think I did hear that there was an F-18 pilot. Maybe it was this guy, Tim Robertson. I don't know. I can't remember the name. But I had heard that there was an F-18 fighter pilot in SASR at the time that I was in. We definitely had a Black Hawk pilot in here, and he was in, well, I was in his squadron, because he was already there before me. Vanilla Butcher, do you know of many females who have passed selection, both NZ and Australia, and went on to serve in the unit? No, there haven't been any females yet, to this stage, to my knowledge anyway, that have passed either New Zealand selection or the Australian selection. There have been females that have attempted both NZ and Australian selection, but none have passed. Yeah, to this date anyway, none of them have passed. Christian Maver, he did a great podcast, and apparently all the troopers would give him crap, saying, "Why would you give up a cool job to come down there with us?" Yeah, like, I mean, there was some of the guys from my squadron got to go up in a fighter jet. I think it might have been when the Americans came and they docked or harbored somewhere, and may have been around Fremantle or something like that, or off the west coast where we were in Perth anyway. And an arrangement was made, and a couple of the lads got to go up in the jets. They loved it, but they were nervous beforehand. They went up. Oh, actually, one of them loved it, had no issue. The other one loved it, but got sick. Got sick in there. So I think those fighter pilots were taking it easy as well. But all the G forces and stuff that they must be experiencing and stuff up there, and the lads going up there got the better of at least one of them. So that was quite a funny story. Yeah, where are we? Nice. That's a good one. Yeah, definitely. Like, why would you give up that cool job? That's the guy, Joe, F-18. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I never knew that was his name. Look at that. You knew his name before me, man. So, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's cool. So yeah, we definitely would have been in the same time, but he would have been in one of the other squadrons, 2 or 3 squadron. Wow, that's awesome. Small world. Yeah, yeah. Timothy Robertson, eh? I'll have to watch the what did you say? What podcast did you say he was on? Oh no, you didn't say which one he was on. That's right. I'm sure if I type in his name, it should come up. F18/SASR pilot Timothy Robertson. I'm sure I'll land something there and then be able to put a face to the name. But I didn't know him personally. Yeah. All right. Cool. Man, I'm going to leave these other questions for another time. 7:30 to 8:30. That should be enough. People probably had enough of me yapping away by this time anyway, probably beforehand. Thanks for the questions coming through on the chat as well. Apologies if I missed any questions. I don't know if I uh, did, but if I did, it wasn't intentional. So, yeah, appreciate you peeps taking time out of your busy evening to spend some time here. So, look after yourselves, enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you. Well, I'll be on live again this coming Wednesday anyway. And if you're there, you're there. If not, you're not. So yeah, take care, look after yourselves. Thanks very much for all the support and questions and the and the advice as well, or like suggestions that people send through. So very much appreciated. I know it's coming from a good place for the most part. Those that aren't, I just can't help but laugh and then just ignore them and or thank them for coming to the channel and coming back and putting comments. It really helps with the algorithm. And then all of a sudden they stop coming back. So anyway, take care, stay awesome, and I'll see you on the next one. I'll let my wife know as well, Vanilla Butcher, that you noticed her pogue beret. It's the term, eh? Pogue. I don't know that you can ever say that or use that term respectfully, because it definitely wasn't used respectfully during my time anyway. Ka-kits, peeps. Oh, where's my stop button gone? There it is.